Hi, Gerhard Bloom, once again looking at the tyranny and the delusions of the social justice movement. So, I'd like to comment on this attack in Boulder, Colorado on a group peacefully marching for the release of Israeli hostages, right? Peacefully, they've been doing it since October 7th, every week they gather, most of these people elderly, right? Some illegal immigrant from Egypt with a makeshift flamethrower and Molotov cocktails sets on these people. 8 people wounded, some minor wounds and some in critical condition. He's shouting, to kill the Zionists and Palestine will be free. The FBI properly is looking into this as a terrorist attack because the guy is shouting, death to the Zionists and Palestine will be free. But the police chief of Boulder, Colorado says, well, we're not really sure what his motives were. Pardon me, except that he was telling you what the motives were. An analyst on CNN says, oh yeah, it's way too premature. The former deputy director of the FBI, no, it's getting, the FBI under Kash Patel and Dan Bongino getting over their skis, right? Absolute nonsense. What they want to do is drag the feet. Some other story will come out and take interest away from this story because undoubtedly there'll be other attacks. I'll get to that in a minute. But at any rate, yes, a terrorist attack by a disaffected Muslim on innocent Jewish people, Jewish American people. One of the people that was hurt was an 88-year-old woman who had escaped the Holocaust, only for some Muslim terrorists to try and kill her in the United States, burn her alive. He set himself aflame. Excellent, outstanding. He should share in some of the suffering that he's inflicted on other innocent people. Well, he's not another innocent person, not an innocent person at all. But at any rate, this is going on. And on X, in the wake of the attack of the 2 young staffers from the Israeli embassy, gunned down in the street, mercilessly shot to death, shot in the back, the woman's crawling away, the killer reloads and puts more rounds into her. Pitiless, absolutely heartless. And on X, there's some 20-something-year-old bedwetting leftist with a keffiyeh around his shoulder saying, well, this is what resistance looks like, justifying this. Just like people were justifying Luigi Mangione gunning down a healthcare executive, right? Celebrating this. Why I bring this up? This is not going to stop. I know I've done numerous videos on, Islamic violence, right? Happening all the time. Meanwhile, while I'm making this video, massive riots in the streets of Paris. Yep, North Africans, disaffected North Africans. What should happen? The police? No. Send in the military, declare martial law. Rioters and looters, you know how rioters and looters are supposed to be dealt with. And who's ever left standing, loaded on the back of military trucks, off to the airport. You have several tents set up with a judge inside. This guy, what evidence do you have? Oh, found him rioting, smashing, looting. Yep, onto the back of the airplane. Off you go then, right? Off you go. But at any rate, what I'd like to talk about is leftist violence. People forget, or they didn't know, that in the United States there were numerous terrorist organizations, domestic terrorist organizations, Syrian Liberation Movement, the Weather Underground, the Black Panthers, Germany, Baader-Meinhof gang, in Italy, the Red Brigades, all sorts of terrorism, needless killings and bombings. So leftists, yes, leftists celebrate violence. They can excuse it. But you shouldn't excuse it. And Donald Trump, he is doing a great job of cleaning up the streets, right? Draining the gutters, right? At any rate, I don't think this is going to stop, sadly. I think you're going to see another fever of this leftist violence supporting this Islamic terrorism. And all across Western Europe, I've done a number of videos talking about it in my book, right? Across Western Europe, the mass rapes, the knifings, the car rammings, the bombings. And we've seen that in the United States, right? And Canada. This needs to stop. People need to stand up and push back. The leftists are lying to you in the media, the mainstream media, or I should say the legacy media, because it's not mainstream anymore. Anyways, thank you so much for your time and attention. Prayers go out to those poor people suffering, burn wounds. Anyways, thanks so much for your time and attention. Drop a thumbs up if you like the video. Gratifies my fragile male ego. Do check out my book, Deconstructing Social Justice. You can't fight something you don't understand. I walk you through this Islamic terrorism. I walk you through these radical leftists. Anyways, thanks so much for your time and attention. Bye-bye now.